everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I told you I was going to do my updated brow routine, which is why we're coming on with a full face with no brows. You are super zoomed in to my face. I really don't like to spend too much time on my brows, and I don't like to spend a lot of money on my brows. So I'm going to talk to you exactly about how I get my brows to go from this to this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to mention is I do only get my eyebrows threaded twice a year. In between those two visits, I keep them up myself. So right over here in my little beauty area, I've got my tweezers, and I pretty much will pluck my brows like every time that I sit down, just like, you know, the little strays that come here or right over here. I try not to mess too much with the actual shape of them every single day, but I do get a lot, like especially in the center right here, that I'll clean up. And I do also have my little scissors because I like for this inner area right here to be a little bit shorter, and for whatever reason these always grow long. So I've got these always ready. I do choose threading because it is a lot safer for the skin. It's a lot less harsh for the skin. When it comes to the products that I use, first I pick up just a regular spoolie. This I got on Amazon. You don't really need one because the product that I'm going to use has a spoolie on it, but I like to go in with one that has no product on it. And that's what I use to initially just comb through my brows, like you see me doing right here. I'm just going to very lightly start to brush them in the direction that I want them. And I do work one brow at a time. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is my much better brow. You can see like this front section's nice and pretty. The brow itself is nice and long. This one's got a lot of issues. It won't grow past right here, so I end up having to make my brow longer a lot on the inner corner right there. And then there's just a lot of patchiness, so that's always a more difficult brow. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to lightly brush these upwards and just kind of following the shape that I generally want them in. I never really understood why this was such an important step, because a lot of people do go with a spoolie first, but I will say that it is. Like, it really does make the biggest difference, just having a little bit of structure in here. And once that is done, that is done. Oh, before I even go on with anything else, I always do my brows when my full face is on. I use an eyebrow pencil, and when you do that, the pencil needs to stick to something. If you're going straight on skin, it ends up slipping and sliding and not staying put throughout the day, which is why I always do my brows when all of my stuff is on, so that way my eyebrow pencil has all of this to stick to, and it does not budge and it doesn't move. I promise. Okay, for the star of the show, this is the absolute best eyebrow pencil from the drugstore that you will ever find. This is from LA Girl. This is their Shady Slim eyebrow pencil. So it does have a spoolie on this side. Oh man, don't look at my nails. And then right over here is where the color is. Now I use the color medium brown. I love this shade, and this is one of those very, very fine tipped pencils. As you can see, it is very, very little. And the only thing about this is you do want to have about that much product out when you're using this on your brows. If you have too much, it's not going to work. It's just going to break off. If you don't have enough, like if you're down over here, you're not able to put the kind of pressure that you need to get the payoff that you want. So you do want about this much out when you're doing your brows with this. You do need to be a little bit careful because this might break on you. It doesn't happen too often. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to take the pencil and I'm going to start right here where the edge of that little front section of your brow is. And what I do is start to very lightly trace upwards because I like to do the bottom of my brows first. And if you accidentally go out like that, I just grab a little Q-tip, wipe it off, no big deal. Okay, so I like to do that whole section from here to about the arch first, And then for the rest of this, I try and do it in one swift motion. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I end up just doing like little tiny dashes like I just did. Just depends on, every day's different, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens today, but then I come over here and I go from the arch down. Okay, so something else that you want to keep in mind when you're doing your brows is the actual plastic that is around the product itself. You want to pretty often clean off so that you're not just rubbing around product that's on there, because that will mess up the shape and the look of your brows. So what I'm gonna do now is have about the same amount out, and I'm gonna start going very lightly upwards in very small strokes. And I always start in this inner section. And like I said, this brow does already come into my nose area a lot more than this. This brow's too short. So I'll only lengthen this one up a little bit. What was that? I don't know. But it's all about little tiny strokes for the moment, and then every once in a while coming over and very, very lightly brushing upwards. Right now I'm pretty much just going with how tall my brows are to begin with. I'm not going to make them bigger quite yet, because right now I really just want to focus on laying down all of the little work. See how like that already just looks so much better. So like I said, you're going to keep doing this in very small little strokes, and we're gradually going to start moving up because I like my brows to be a lot thicker. They're way too thin right now. So, but you don't want to just go in with long strokes because it won't look as natural, it will not look as good. You really want to make sure that you're going in with baby strokes, little tiny strokes, and then building your way up. It also helps to create those hair-like strokes like you would get if you had your brows microbladed or they were just naturally nice and fluffy. See? We're getting some shape, we're making them a little bit thicker, but they still look super natural. What's this? And then like I said, so here we really have a lot of buildup to do because my brow naturally stops right here, but I need it to be way up here because again, I like nice thick brows. So we're gonna go ahead and clean off the side and then bring that pencil back up. Like I said, we work in very small sections. So I'm gonna slowly start to go out with my pencil, and then we'll continue from the top here to build it up. And you could totally use 2 different shades if you wanted this section, the inner section, to be a little bit lighter. I don't have time for that. I'm just not that person, you know, but if you like when it's lighter, use a different shade. I find that if I just go with a lighter hand, I can get that kind of effect without having to use multiple products. The really good thing about this pencil is that it is just so affordable. I want to say it's $3.99, but I'll link the price in this window somewhere. Okay, and then you'll see that I'm gonna now move my head over to the side like this so that I can follow the natural shape of how it should be going. You know, you wanna make sure that every stroke you make follows where the hair in that section lies by itself. So don't just start going in a different direction if the hair doesn't actually lie that way. See? So now all we have to do is start to fill in right over here, and this brow will be done. Okay, so I want to fix this intersection just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just very light strokes come over here. I'm going to extend it a little bit. Yeah, I love that brow. Okay, so as you can tell, just from the quality of this pencil, which is just so freaking amazing. Like it's less than $5 and my brows look just so good. So you see how already I was able to fill this brow out a lot. You can still see all of the individual hairs. You can see those hair-like strokes. My brow is nice and filled in, whereas this one is completely all alone. But the best part is my next part. So this is what's going to hold the brows down, really make sure that you can see all of these hair-like strokes as the day goes on, and this is going to make the biggest difference right now. So this, like I said, is a little bit pricey. This is the Anastasia brow, what exactly are you? I don't know, the wax stick. I do also have another wax stick from NYX. I don't like it as much, but I think that it's fine. So what I do now is just go in with this and very lightly, we're gonna brush upwards and really get those hairs to stand up. And you'll see that this makes the biggest difference. It really gets them to look so much more natural, so much more fluffy. You see that? Like they just look so much more perfect now. Okay, so that is one full brow done. That is everything that I do. That's it. I use those two products. You can see what the biggest difference is from this side to this side. Okay guys, so these are my brows fully on. It is so quick, it's so easy. Honestly, I can do my brows in less than 7 minutes. Normally, definitely no more than 10. Yeah, so that's really all I use is these two products. I do quickly want to mention, I already talked about this for very, very briefly. The NYX Brow Shaper is pretty good. I don't find that it's as long lasting as the ABH one, but this is way more affordable, and it's a good pencil, you know. There's quite a few out there. I think that NYX was one of the ones that I liked more. I know that e.l.f. has one I tried out, and I never ended up repurchasing it. So the ABH one is my favorite. Something that I might want to consider doing from here on out, because we are getting into summer months, is also using a clear brow gel at the very end. Now when it comes to brows, I do think that Anastasia has the best products out there, except for my LA Girl pencil. So I might just end up purchasing the clear brow gel from ABH and going over this with that as the very last step, because as it does get a little bit hotter outside, I get oily in my T-zone, and I want to just make sure that my brows last all day, of course. So right now that's not an issue, but as it gets hotter, it may be, so that might be my last step. But this is all that I do for these beautiful brows right here. They're very, very natural looking. They don't look super fake or super filled in. You can still see every little hair stroke because the formula on here is just so good. This is such a beautiful, beautiful pencil. And then just holding it down and holding those hairs up with this really makes the biggest difference. The last thing I want to mention is that you need to clean up anything underneath. Where am I? Anything underneath if you have some issues or you're somebody who likes really, really clean cut brows. My favorite concealer to use is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. You can see that I'm almost fully out of it. This stuff is very, very thick in a watery way. Like when you pump it out, it will just run right down your hand. But once it is put down onto your skin, it's there. It has got great coverage. It's not going to move all over the place, and it will cover anything. So I will use this like underneath here to clean that up, especially if I've got a full eyeshadow look going on and then I really, really want nice clean cut brows. This is my favorite concealer to use, and I will just go in with the smallest pump to just get the very littlest bit on the back of my hand. I will go in with a very small brush like this, just get a little bit and then go in and clean this up. Clean up anywhere underneath here that really I think needs it, and then you can just wait for it to dry for a second, tap it out, put some more powder over it, like some more eyeshadows, and then you're good to go. So that is all that I do for my brows. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Ring that bell so you're notified every time I upload. I'm trying, I promise. I am trying to upload once a week. Sundays needs to be my filming day, and today I was able to do it. So yay! Thank you guys so much for watching. I will go ahead and link my previous eyebrow routine down below if you guys don't like these brows and like my other ones for whatever reason. Then at least you can also compare like how people grow, you know? So anyways, that'll be the end of today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!